How you doing out there, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Unleash Your Success with your boy GRUBBS. If not me, who else? I got a real interesting topic today. It's off topic but on topic. I was watching an episode of Vlad. Like I tell people, I watch podcasts all day long. Um, but I was watching an episode of Vlad. I've been seeing bits and pieces of it where Boosie was showing his estate or whatever, but I see they finally put the full video up there. So I was a couple things, that really caught my attention when he was going through talking about things and so forth. Because I had told a buddy of mine about 2 years ago, I was like, man, listen, you know, property is property, but I don't want any more physical houses. And he was like, huh? I'm like, I just want land. I'm like, I'm kind of tired of that shit, man, because I know how I am. I'm a different type of person. So it's like, I like to own the stuff that I do. So for instance, like, okay, I go and buy me 25 acres of land and clear it off. Well, first I'll tell a story, then I'll tell mine. But he was saying he got to a little part where he was saying, well, they said it was 88 acres, which is a lot. And he was saying how, like, I ain't have all the money at the beginning. So, I did the foundation and then 40 here, 40 here, 40 here, 40 here, pieced it together. So that's what made me make the video because I was telling my homeboy the same exact thing. I'm like, bro, I'm tired of these fucking houses. I remember in 2016 I was about to buy a house like the regular way, mortgage, so on and so forth. Had a good job at the time, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and grab me a crib. So when I started looking, I got approved for a little close to 200K. Back at that time, that was a lot. So I was like, okay, I can do something with this. And then when I started like doing house searching, I guess I started to feel like a woman, I say, because I'm like, damn, this kitchen little as shit. This basement creepy as fuck. Y'all could finish this joint or damn, this bathroom look weird. Like, why is it structured like this? Like I started looking at all the stuff, but it's not being a female, it's your mind. Like you signing a 15 to 30-year mortgage. So for 15 to 30 years, you have to be inside of these walls. So it kind of need to be what you want. This shit gotta motivate you to get up every day and want to go pay for this bitch. So that's what gave me my motivation just to say, nah, I'm gonna just wait. I'll wait. I mean, everybody's entitled to a first time buyers. I'll save it to where I can get something better. So I was back to what I was telling my homeboy about 2 years ago. I was telling him, I'm like, bro, I'll be seeing like 20, 30 acres of land for like 50, 60 grand. He was like, huh? I'm like, yeah. So what I was thinking of, I'm like, okay, what if I take like 50K, give me like 20 acres, clear off about five, and live on that five. Now, as far as the process of building a house, I mean, I can't sit here and say like, oh, I just got 4 or 5 million and millions sitting in the bank. I could just, okay, go ahead and buy this house and buy this land, start building. So what I told him I would do is I would doing the homework of where the area I wanted to go. I think it's like 5,000 minimum because you got to pay for them to run the sewage and the electric to the actual property, and that's the biggest cost. I think electric doesn't charge you, but I think water and sewage wants like 5K. That's in the state of Georgia. So I was looking at like, okay, I got 5 grand to spend, but see what that 5 grand to do, it give me sewage access and electric access. So now I'm cooking with something because I can go and buy somebody's used double wide trailer, gut it, rehab it, and live in it on my land while I build my house. So, I could sit right there in the trailer across and my house is being built right there. And then once the house is completed, of course, I could take the trailer and move it out back or put it on another part of the land for like a guest place or something like that. That's just like the beginning. But even how he's doing it, how he said, okay, I had this house since 2017. Now I want to build this. I want to build this. I want to build this. I'm the same exact way. Because for instance, right, I'm not having any wild parties or anything like he do, but what I do is like, okay, I get ideas thrown at me and I come across ideas all the time. So like I kept telling somebody, yo, I want to get into the pilot shit. The pilot shit is big money. It's money in the pilot shit, no matter what. I mean, there's no losses in it. I'm telling you that first off. We'll talk about that in another episode. But I wanted to get into the pilot. So if I could build a 3,000 square foot building, I can buy a ton of pilots and go through the stuff. And I got places for it to sit while it sells on eBay, Amazon, and Facebook. I also like little ideas how like Amazon be having fulfill you. You can have your own fulfillment center. You just gotta have 10,000 square feet storage. I mean, 10,000 square feet storage. And you can sign a contract and become a fulfillment center for Amazon for your local area. Pays pretty good too, because after you build a fulfillment center, you save your bucks for a couple months, and then you can get yourself a couple sprinters, and then you can deliver those same packages for Amazon too, which is a separate contract. So I mean, it's a lot of stuff. FedEx does it. A lot of people are doing it. They're outsourcing deliveries, but they're also outsourcing storage because it's allowing them to downsize on their warehouses, and they only need warehouses for the production and sorting part. Another little, tip somebody threw at me, but with having my own land, I could do things like that. I can, I own the land. I'm building a house. Once the house is completed, the kind of house I'm looking for, I don't want to throw no numbers out there, but I'm gonna say it's probably gonna cost me roughly about $500,000 to build. But that house will appraise for over $2 million. So if I wanted to pull equity out of, and keep in mind, the house, we're not talking about my 22 acres. The house only exists in that five. The other 15 has nothing to do with that house. So this is also another part I'll teach you, because when you buy parcels of land, you have legal right to break them as you want to. You can sell that shit the size of the shape of a pizza. You can sell, I mean, slice of pizza. You can sell the size of a pie. You can sell it as a square. You can sell it as a triangle. You can sell property and parcels how you want. So that's another part I'll teach you too at the end, where that 5 acres where my house is built is all I'm appraising for 2 million. So guess what? I spent 50K on the land, 500K to build. That's 550. So when I pull equity out, I'll be a millionaire. Now with that other money, I can take that money and build out the rest of the property. I can put say 2 garages, 3,000 square feet apiece. I can put, a lot of amenities. That's how, you know, you get all the stone work and the cement, all that stuff will come later. See what I'm saying? But it gives you the ability. Now tell me this, what property do you own? Can you do what I just told you? You can fix that bitch up and make it as nice as you want, but it ain't gonna crack what the area value is and what it's worth. But when you do newly built developments, they're valued different because everything is brand new. Remember that. Everything is brand new. That's why I tell everybody my final end game was to build my shit from the ground up. Not only because of what I'm telling you, but also because I'm very picky at what I want. I want certain amenities in certain areas of my house. Like for instance, I want my laundry room upstairs. I mean, some people call it weird, but who want to love clothes all the way down to the basement? And I see houses they got smart to put them in the kitchen. Who want to love clothes down to the kitchen? I mean, okay, they got to shoot, so on and so forth. Or to be honest, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, because I did think about another way too, but I was a lot younger, and that was the kid side of me, because I was like, man, I just have a little laundry elevator. Drop the clothes down and shoot, and then when I'm done washing them, put them in a bag, put them in a little laundry elevator, and then take them upstairs. But now I got to have more machinery running down the middle of the house. That's too much. So for me, honestly, I would think it's smart to just put it upstairs on the main floor. Like as you come out the master bedroom, put a little closet there, and that'll be the laundry closet. Won't nobody, I mean, it'll be there, but it won't be stand out. And all you got to do is grab kids' clothes out the bedroom, walk in the hallway, throw them in the washer, dry them, take them back in their room. All that sitting downstairs for days and nah, you ain't got it eliminates all of that. Like I tell people, I like two eating settings. Very, very strange to me. So I would need a dining room. I would like a full eating kitchen and a diner next to it, and what they call is a pre-dining. So I want an eating kitchen in a pre-dining area, because the regular dining area would be that area that nobody ever goes in except for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and stuff like that. But I still have multiple sittings. So if I want to sit in the kitchen to eat by myself, my kids away out of town, I can do that. No need for me to sit in the main area and dirty up a bunch of stuff when it's only just me. That's just how I think. But these are the certain immunities that I want where they want out. I want where I want them at. Um, as far as like I say, my guest rooms, I want me and all my kids' rooms up on my main floor. But on the second level, which would be the living room, kitchen area, I would want to put a guest room on that floor and a guest room in the basement. One, because I try to give, remember, if you talk about a guest, it's somebody visiting. So I always think about my guests. And you want to give people their privacy. So I don't think you want them all up there with your kids yelling, screaming, running around, tripping. So I would give them the privacy to be on the first floor or the lower level, which would be the basement area. And as far as like I say, my immunities, I haven't really got sold on bringing my immunities in the house. I always said from day one, I would probably put my immunities separate, like one of those 3,000 square foot buildings. I'm saying that will probably be like a movie theater, my arcade, game room, all of it would be in that building. One, because I can have a bigger movie theater. I can have a bigger game room. It'll be pretty much be dedicated just for entertainment in that building. And then the other one will be like a garage, because if y'all know, 3,000 square feet is equivalent to a 3 to 4 car garage. So it would be about that size, because like I said, I like cars and stuff, tinkering. I like building shit like that. So I need that extra space. And even what I'm telling y'all, I still have not used up 2 acres of the 5. I still got trees and other stuff I can flatten out and build more. And then you talking about the whole 20, I can go across 5 yards where I can't even see my house no more and start building again. Or I can sell parcels off, which I probably won't, because my main goal is to build each of these parts of this land out. So when my kids get older, it's their choice whether they want to leave the estate or not, because that's my golden ticket. Another rule I'm about to tell y'all, pay attention. 3 living dwellings on a plot of land is considered as an estate. You can buy 30 acres and put a house on it. It's not an estate. It's a mansion. When you put multiple living dwellings, that's what you call an estate. How I learned that, I used to do property management, so a lot of times they'll have the address is such and such estates, and when I pull in, it's a little ride down driveway, and it's about 3 houses in here. They're all 3 separate houses owned by 3 separate people, but being those that they sit on the same parcel of land, they consider it as an estate. So, my dream was to always have my own estate where I would build different, living dwellings on, so that way when my kids got older, it's their choice whether they want to buy a house. I mean, of course, I still had other properties that I accumulate throughout their lifetime, but what if they don't want to go live in one of those? What if they don't even want to experience that? I mean, I don't want to, I want to make it so they can have their privacy, but they can still be with me, to the point where shit, they can raise their kids on the same land. Dad lives over that side somewhere. They can have one of the houses on the other parts of the parcels of land. Also, people forget at this day and age, a lot of people travel. So for me to build these different places, shit, I can Airbnb the other 2 houses that I built on the property and make more money than I paid for the house. That's why what he said is correct. I mean, I don't know about $15,000 a day. I mean, I fuck with you, bro. That's a little steep. 15 grand a day. I could probably see 15K a week because that's about, 60,000 a month. 60,000 a month, that's 600,000 a year. That's why I said that's not bad. I could see a week, but 15K per day, that's a little much. Cause I mean, I kind of remember the number that Ross said he got for renting his house for coming to America, and it wasn't that crazy. And I know his crib crazy. So it's like certain stuff, like I said, you got me, but that is a very good idea because I will be able to Airbnb the other two empty properties out that I cannot stay in and make residual income off of the lot, off of the land itself. But that's really why I had to do the video because it really caught my attention, and it's just cool to see. Maybe that'll help a lot of people open their eyes because if they see the people that they deem as being the demons and all the evil and they this, if they see them spewing real positive game, maybe people will take heed and listen because that really is the way to go. And the reason why I got on that type vibe is because I bought a property with plumbing issues. And the city where I come from in Philly, if it hit the street, that's their problem. But now in the country, oh no, I gotta get a permit. I gotta call a company with excavators. They gotta dig the street up for us to get to the pipe. I gotta pay for the flaggers when they block the street off. I gotta pay for the cop to sit there. I said, oh fuck this. No, 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 no. That's when I said, you know what? If I was on my own land, I wouldn't have this problem. Because certain things, like I tell people, when you have your own land, right? When you're a builder, because I'm a contractor at heart. So when you're a builder and you have your own land, you can do things that you're not allowed to do in a residential or even a community. Because the fact is this, like for instance, in the state of Alabama, you pay for water and sewage. So you pay for the water that comes out of your faucet and the water that goes out of your house, which is your toilet water, your tub water, and your washing clothes water. You pay for all of that. Now, I'm gonna tell you a trick, which was how things were back in the day. And I don't know why they don't do them this way now. Certain types of water are considered as gray water. Gray water are not hazardous. I mean, gray water is not hazardous or dangerous. Gray water is the water you brush your teeth with, the water you wash your face with, the water you wash your body with. That's gray water, the water you wash your clothes with. The only reason that your sink in the kitchen is not considered as gray water because you rinse food down the drain. And that's what makes that not gray water. But I'm gonna tell you a tip to save you some money when you build in a house, or even if you somebody who live in a house that has these issues where you're paying for sewage, because that's what makes your sewage bill high, washing clothes, all that stuff, everything going down, and you're paying for it. So the best thing to do is I would say run a gray water line, which is a line that ties in from your bathroom sink, your tub, your bathtub, your bathroom sink. So pretty much just listen, not your toilet, your tub, your bathroom sink, your washer discharge. Those three can go together. And instead of running them to the main drain, if you had land, you would be able to run that outside into the earth. You will actually be able to dig a pipe in the ground and run it out into the water. I'm right out into the ground. So that way you're not paying for that. And two, it's not causing a scent. Actually, I'm gonna tell you another good tip. That's a very good way to, I'm not gonna say fertilize your land, but it keeps your ground soiled. So say for instance, if you got that side of the house where you know you're gonna be putting a garden or something like that, run that pipe over to your garden. So when you discharge it out, it'll run out that pipe and go right into the dirt. See what I'm saying? So them hot days, it's not raining, you can always keep your garden with water. Yeah, man. I learned some things being down in the South, man. Cool little dude told me about that. And as far as everything else, like I said, your kitchen sink, your toilet, that has to go out. So pretty much the only thing that's going out of your drain from your house is piss and shit and the dishwater from your house. And like I tell people, if you one of them guys that can say, "Oh, I gotta drain that, I gotta drain that," well, yes, you can drain it into the elements. You can run into your gray water if you guarantee that you have a drain net and you're not letting no food. Because the reason with food, think about it, you're running this pipe out into the elements. So over time, food is going to pack that pipe up. And it ain't like you could put a snake down there and snake it. So you got to think, you can't put no snake in there. So it needs to be straight water flowing through there. No food, pieces of egg that was in the pot, no oodles and noodles. Nah, it can't be none of that. It need to be straight water flowing through that line to make it continue to work because eventually it'll back up. And then the stuff in the house that you're using with that gray line will back up too. So I mean, just take a look at. I see a few videos on YouTube to show you how to run gray water lines in present date, and they even make some of them where you can get access to them in case they do clog up. So I mean, there's different ways to run it, but that right there will save you tons of money on your sewage bill because you're paying to run face washing water, toothpaste, bathing water that you're washing soap off of your ass, but you're paying to wash it out like sewage. I'm not saying it's clean water. I mean, but I'm just saying it's not water that constitutes that is hazardous enough for you to have to pay to disperse it. That's what you worried about. What materials do you need to pay to disperse? Feces, urine, and food, grease, things like that. That's what you need to pay to disperse. But when you have your own property, you kind of call a lot of the shots. Once you go to that county and get your permits, as far as your building permits, they don't really even tell you, oh, you can't build this. Oh, you can't build that. They just want the permits, how much you're going to do, the price of the permits, and you can go ahead and do what you want because you don't have neighbors. This is my lane. I can do whatever I want. You can build a clown house. You can build a tree house. It's whatever that suits you. That's the difference between buying a house on the street and buying land. So I mean, think about it. And the last piece of advice I'm gonna give you before I wrap this up is even when you look at the loan process, they don't even offer people these loans. But I'm gonna tell you a trick. You and your wife or even yourself, you go looking for a house. You're gonna go apply for a first time homeowners loan. They're gonna give you a rate. You're gonna go look for a house. Why? Because that's what everybody else did. That's what they make you think is done. No, they have something called a new development loan, which are just as easy to get as first time buyers because just as well as they want these houses sold or people lived in them, they got too much land out here that's just open and prime. So they feel the same way about it. So where I'm going with it is you get your general loan for a house. They want you to come up with say 10%. You might go through a program, come up with a little less than 10%. So now you inside the house. You paying your mortgage, you got your interest, insurance, all that shit, yada yada, same thing. Now you get a parcel of land. You go to a bank and get what you call a new development loan. New development loans might give you anywhere. I'm only speaking off of me. My first one was like 550. And then my credit got a little better. And I went back and tried it again. And I got about 720 or 725 or something like that. But I would never get that much money to buy somebody's house already built. Don't get me wrong. I could find a $700,000 house on the market and go buy it. Yes, I can. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that newly built tag is going to help you more in the long run because say for instance, I buy somebody $700,000 house. I call an appraiser out. It's worth 700,000. That's why they had it on the market for that. But if I take this 700,000 from the bank on a new development loan, build the house from the ground up, that house is worth millions for that 700 or something thousand. You go buy a house for 700 something thousand, it's worth 700 something thousand. Not unless you do some major expansions to get it up in the millions. But it's not going to be what it is because they have something called fair market value and a few other laws. So you can't make the prices up as you go. It doesn't go that way. It can be as nice as you want it to be, but it's not your price. They have a fair market value. People can get sued for that. Price gouging, things like that. We know what those words mean. But that's pretty much what you're looking at. So that's the concept of break it down. You go buy a $750,000 house, it might appraise for 725. You build a house with $750,000 budget, it's going to be worth millions. And the same, and as far as when we get to the nitty gritty, what is the payments? Okay, the payments on my 750 new development loan would have been 2,500 a month. I could have got the 550 for 1,500 a month. How much is your mortgage? I know cats right now living in houses that cost 180 grand paying 1,500 for mortgage. I know cats living in a crib that costs 250 paying 2,000 or more a month for mortgage. I mean, I tell people, man, you got to get out of that box, bro. They put us in that box because they make more money that way. The bank not going to really, they going to go with something like I just told y'all because the simple fact, I said the house is worth millions. I did all the legwork. I found the property. I built it up. I made it worth money. So damn right, the bank gonna give me the money because the fact they want it. Keep in mind, even when you pour equity out, you're gonna take 70%. That 30% has to stay. Always has to stay. Not unless you're a veteran. But I think seniors might get 100% refis. I'm not sure. But I know for the average person, you get 60 to 70% on a refi. So if I spent 750 to build this house, it should be roughly about 2.5 to 2.7 million dollars. Maybe even more, depending on the amenities and what's the deal I can get on the materials. But if I can do like cobblestone driveways, fountains, all that shit, oh yeah, you talking about $3-4 million for that 750 budget that I had. So when it goes time to appraise, I can appraise the house and I might be able to pull, say, 2.2 million, 2.5 million out. After I just, and keep in mind, I'm not spending the 750s alone from the bank. The only money that I came out of my pocket was the 50K to buy the original land. So I mean, remember that. And then remember that. But in my next video, I'll teach you how to cut parcels because I didn't ever know it was believable myself until I actually seen it. And working in property management, this guy, it was they family owned an area. I'm not gonna say a town. It was a nice little neighborhood. But he bought me the map of all that they own, and he showed me how they sold some of them as shaped like this. They sold some of them with shaped circle. They sold some of them that was shaped like a piece of pizza. Like he says, is if they draw it out that way and survey it that way, and the person agrees on that, that's what goes. So yeah, all lots are not the same size. Like I could say, okay, I got 20 acres. I could break down 5, 5, 5, and 5. Build 4 houses, one on each 5. And then you talking about, ooh, ooh, he's talking about millions on a refi. Probably 10, $12 million on a refi. There's no law that says you can't do it again. If you the same way I said I bought that one, did it for 750, bought the land 50,000, built it for 750, pulled the equity out. I could take the equity money that I got from that house and build 2 more. Or I could just say fuck it and build all 3 of them out and get them out the way. Because that 750, yeah, I should be able to build 3 of them with the refi money. Now, when I go back after I finish the other 3 and pull that money out, you talking about that's at least 8 million. This is why I always tell everybody in these videos. I mean, if I gotta pick my first one, I'm gonna say real estate is your first foolproof. Now, don't let me say foolproof because yes, it is foolproof to get you money. But the problem that you gotta understand is if I say I built these houses, I pulled the equity out, right? Who's to say that I have renters? I gotta get renters. I gotta get people to live in these houses because once you do a refi, now you go from owning to paying. That's the reason why, if you peep what I said a couple minutes ago, that's why I threw that out there. If I build the first one with the bank's money, wait till it's finished, refi, pull it out, pause. Now I got payments on that house now. Still had payments anyway because they gave me the 750. The only difference is the loan is redone. I paid the 750 off, and now I got a new loan for probably the 1.9 or $2 million that they gave me on the refi, which is fine. So now that's a payment each month. But now I got enough money in my hand to go do the other 2 to 3 properties on the land. Now, when I build the 2 to 3 properties on the land, those are rent free because I took my refi money from number one and built these 3. So say worst case scenario, I fall on my luck, I can't keep up with the payments on one, I still own 3. They don't go anywhere because I used the money from my refi to build those 3. Those are free and clear, title deed in hand. And I would only have to gamble to lose that one. See, this is another piece. Like I said, I'm giving out the gems, and I ain't even this one even what this was about. But being though it is all about building your shit, it still matters. But these tips that I'm giving is great tips because people don't think about stuff that way. I mean, even when I kept telling my man, bro, I said the Boosie way, man. Like I'm gonna buy me a trailer, and I figure if I just work and work and work, little hair, foundation, framing, windows. That's. I mean, shit. I got a year too. I got somewhere to live. I got a trailer on my lot my lot that I own. My anchors. I'm not paying nothing but taxes. The trailer I bought from somebody and rehabbed it. That's mine. I don't have any expenses except for the bills that I pay to live in the trailer and I'm on my lane. So that's why I'll be like, those are the benefits. And I mean, I remember when I used to always tell people like, oh, financial freedom, all this good shit, yada yada. Okay, fine. That is 100% true, but this is that next step. And I don't like people out there feeling like they can't achieve it because, oh, I ain't got money like them. And it don't matter. I mean, it's something that an average person can do because it's an average person in their ear telling them to do that. Yeah, they got the money to make it happen, but you can also put the money together too. And I mean, credit, yes, is a very big thing, but like I just told you, these new buyer loans and all this, they minimums is like 650s. They not 700, 800s. And like I tell cats all the time, I mean, the way I feel when I buy a house for what I want to do with it, I ain't worried about none of that other stuff because I already know once I get this house, I'm gonna do what I do with it. I'm gonna refi and we gonna redo that loan. At the point of me redoing that loan, my credit is a lot higher. So now my interest rate is gonna go down when I redo the loan. Plus, I'm gonna have some bread in my pocket from what I did. That's the whole concept. It's just like I say, some people do it 10 times, 20 times, 30 times. But the failure to real estate is when you got to think about it. Once you pull that equity out that house, somebody has to pay that equity. Hopefully, you got a long-term renter and the renter will pay that equity. But if not, them payments have to come out of your pocket. So don't forget that, man. That's the most important piece. Now, as far as for me, like I tell people, I'm a hustler. So if I got a house in an area that everybody's getting 15, 16, I'll take $1. because my refi might only be 400 or 500. So I'm doubling up every month. I'm cool with that. Yeah, you getting 3 times, but shit, man, I ain't upset. I'm a hustler. It's about the profit. I don't always need max profit because I might get max profit off another property. I might get max profit from another business. So it's fine to not get max profit everywhere you go. That's like when a nigga come up and say, "Yo, let me get a demo, bro. I only got 8." What you gonna say? Nah, fuck that. I ain't fucking with that 8 shit. I'm taking it. It's only $2 off. I ain't worried about that. Then fuck around next time you come back, yo, man, where my $2 at? So I'm gonna fuck around and get it anyway. But people don't think like that. That's the way I always felt. Yeah, man, give me that 2. And I ain't taking 7, but I'll take 8. You might have to get yourself 2 cigars. I know how the struggle is. So being a hustler always make me feel I don't need it. If I got a house in Beverly Hills, oh, they renting up for 10,000. I mean, if it doesn't affect what I'm paying for it, my taxes and insurance, all right, give me 8. Everybody's making 5 grand off of this. I make 3. I'm still making a profit, and I'm still putting money in my pocket that I didn't have before. And if I wanted to play the game like them and got time for it to sit there empty, I gotta front that load while it's sitting there empty. That's why I always tell cats, man, try to have, if you feel you're gonna take the refi route, try to have you some runners lined up, or try to get some runners lined up to that project being complete. So that way you got that comfort to know as soon as it's completed, all right, bang, that joint done. What's up? And then another thing y'all cats gotta stop. Stop trying to follow everybody guideline, bro. Everybody ain't got all this money to move in no place. If you do your due diligence, your background, and your homework, bro, and them people's money and paperwork looks sturdy, take that chance because everybody ain't got first class security. You want 1,500 to move in. Who the fuck you think got 4,500 sitting around? Then I just gave you 4,500. I gotta furnish the crib, kids' beds, my beds, TVs, couches. Can't nobody afford all that. So I tell niggas when I do my Jones, I do first insecurity. Some people say first and last, and the reason why I say I do first insecurity because security is the price of a month. So say for instance, if that last month come and you act like you don't want to pay, I'm just gonna keep your security. It's the same thing. But I just don't want to have somebody tied up trying to get me 3 months worth of money to move in because that's what happens when the very first month come around and they late because real life shit happened. Damn, I had to get a couch, I had to get my kids beds, we needed TVs. Like I said, I understand the struggle. I'm a hustler, so I have to understand the struggle. And that's the only reason why I ever said I would do real estate because I'm a fair man. But even for me, I don't really want to be a landlord because, like I said, I'm not too keen on that repair shit. I mean, you can go in a house and put everything in brand new and still be back fixing something 2 months later. Toilet clogged up, electric flickering. I done seen it all in a brand new joint or even freshly rehab. So, you got your ups and downs. And for me, if I own land, like I just showed you, I can still make millions off of my land, more millions that I would make off of a house in a residential neighborhood. I would be making the amount of money to buy 10 to 15 houses in a residential neighborhood. No, I'm fucking up. Ain't no 10 to 15. I'm talking about like maybe 20, 25. But you got to see, man, people play the short game, man. The long game is what it is because it gives you the better residual income and it gives you the better outcome. Staying in them cities, buying them, flipping them houses. I mean, don't get me wrong, it make money. I can never down anything that makes money. But at the end of the day, you can make more money. Like before I roll out of here, I'm gonna give y'all one more jump. You have something people put together what they call like investment groups, aunts, uncles, um, brothers, sisters, shit like that. That's becoming a new wave because you might have 4 family members, you know, Aunt Jane, Uncle Charlie, they sitting there with 720 credit scores. And then you got 2 other family members got pretty good work. They've been working for a while, couple bands saved up. They get together, form LLCs. Don't form one, they form two. So that way, Aunt Jane can go pull business credit. Uncle Charlie can go pull business credit. At this time, they could take that money and invest. They can buy that plot of land. They can do it that way. Everybody walks away with a nice chunk of change when it's all said and done. Or if everybody wants to go live in a house, they can go live in a house. It's kind of whichever choices suits the people who's making them. But my general overall, I always say, man, try situations like that before you go to a bank. Because doing those type groups, I feel like it's more comfortable because it's family and everybody is on the same page or they wouldn't have got into it. But even that little put together, because I hate when people think things are so hard and you got to have so much. No, it really just takes the time to sit down, pace it out, and see what you can do. Because there is nothing in the world that you can't do unless you just really don't want to do it. But stuff like that also works out too. Like only reason I'm saying that because I actually know a family that did that. And by the time they got them pulling business credit from the whole gang, they ended up with an ante of about 2.5 million. Yeah. And I can't disclose who they are because that's a little too much. I don't never know where they might be, but it's like the way they did it was smart because, like I said, they accumulated 2.5 million. That started off. No GoFundMe, no fundraiser, no nothing. We got 2.5 million of our money. What we gonna do? We gonna buy a bunch of land. Just so happened they bought a piece of land for about $150,000. They sold the land to a strip mall company for like 2 million. So the 2.5 that they had up from their credit, here you go. Banks, take y'all money back. We got 2 million our own to play with. And that's how things go. So I tell people, man, don't always get all bank driven and I'm gonna get a business plan to go to the bank. The bank ain't gonna give you no money. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm willing to tell you Mark Zuckerberg probably walked in the bank or two and ain't get shit. Bank ain't gonna give you no money. Not unless it's like some slam dunk shit or unless you willing to go in there and give up your shirt and pants to get that money. So I always try to tell people get that shit on your own. I got everything from the muscle. No, I ain't never had a finance loan shit. You know, houses, no, the few I bought right out. The other ones I got a different route without going through a bank. But and the beautiful thing about that, I'm gonna tell y'all because I talked about it in another video about the rent to own property. See, when you do rent to own or owner finance, this is like working under the table. So when I get ready to go buy my primary residence, I can use my first time homeowners because I never used it. I never bought a house through the bank. I never went through that process. So I still am owed that process, be it those that is offered to everybody. So once I buy my plot of land, I'm gonna intertwine my first time buyers with my development loan, which would give me a better chance of getting it and a lower interest rate. And I know a lot of cats out there gonna see this video and be like, damn, I ain't never bought no crib. I always rent it. You're still entitled to yours. And yes, you can do what I'm saying. I mean, land, you can get a loan to buy some land. I would get the money up and buy it myself. Because there's some more little legal tactics I'll tell you once on the next video when I tell you how to break down the parcels and why it's important to break down the parcels. But I mean, as always, man, this wraps up another episode of Unleash Success with your boy GRUBBS. With not me, who else? Definitely appreciate it. Please make sure you tell everybody to like, share, and subscribe. I'll get back at y'all in a few days with the next installment. And we out.